Good morning, Internet world, and we are in period one on day 3 of code blocks. And we just went through an activity and we marked off the things that were on our sprint task list. And we found out that the ghost Pac-Man is chomping. Pac-Man's moving left, right, up, and down. The dots are moving, the ghosts are moving, the fruit are moving. And now all we need to do is lose lives and get points, right? So that involves the wonderful, um, the wonderful activity of collision detection. Okay, so today's lesson is part 3, code blocks, part 3, and we just go down the list and just check things off, and you go through your list, you check it off if you have it done. If it's not checked off, then it's just something you have to do. And today we went through our list and found out, hey, we can't lose lives and get points. So what's the next thing to do in your program? Program it so that you get lives and lose lives and get points. All right, so let's dive into this right away. Here we go. Let's go see what's happening. Okay, so here's our edge reached, and then here you go. Here's Pac-Man collides with. So Pac-Man is my main character, so I go ahead and always think in terms of Pac-Man. Who's with me on that? So you want to go over to your Pac-Man, image sprite Pac-Man, and you want to go over here and you want to find where Pac-Man collides with someone. I don't think that's too difficult. Does anybody think that's too difficult? No? Okay. And then here you go. This is the beginning of the if block. If this other here is the other sprite, so you're basically saying if the other sprite is equal to the image sprite dot. So if it's equal to the dot, then, did I do this right, Chase? Did you say 10 points? Okay, Chase is right. Chase said 10 points. By the way, Chase, you made the video. Very nice. Shout out to my man Chase over there. Okay. Chase, by the way, did a great job. Told us that today that we're going to have 10 points when we get the ghost. We just did this in an activity, but it wasn't recorded. Chase told me that we're going to get 100 points when we hit the power up. And Chase said we're going to get 1,000 points if we hit the fruit. And then if you hit the ghost, you lose a life. Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this. Everybody see this little purple block right here? Could I say something like yum in here? Yeah. Yeah, you can. So when I hit a dot, I'm going to get 10 points. I'm going to say yum, and then I'm going to display that in my score. So all you do is go set your LBL score label, the text of the label, join it with the word score, colon, and make sure you always put a space in here at the end. If not, it's going to look kind of crazy. And then put in your global score. All right, so that's done. Now all we have to do is expand this. And I'm going to do a bunch of these because we have, how many things are we going to run into? We have 4 ghosts, so you need 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 ghosts. Do we have fruit? Yeah, we have a power up. Okay. And I think we have a piece of fruit. All right. So now you just come through here and you just copy and paste this. This is just basically going to be a lot of copying and pasting now. Are you with me? Okay. So let's do the Powerball. All right. You know, could I use text-to-speech in here also? Oh, guess what? We don't have text-to-speech in here. Guess what? Guess what we can put in here? Let's go back to media and let's put in my favorite text-to-speech. Okay. And I like to use text-to-speech because it's a lot quicker than, uploading all the sounds. So if I hit a Powerball, now I can have text-to-speech come on, and I could say something crazy like OMG, OMG, I love Powerballs. Okay. And now we said on the Powerball, Chase, how many points are you going to get on the Powerball? 100. So I'm not going to keep that as 10. What am I going to do? I'm going to make that 100. And now it's pretty easy. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so what's next? Fruit. Okay, so if the other sprite is equal to the fruit, there we go. Oh, by the way, I messed up here because you know what? I did not display the score. So you don't want to get 100 points and then not display that you got 100 points. How many people went to the basketball game? Shout out to my Fairfield Indian 7th grade team that is 18-0. You guys made it to the video today. GMC champions, 18-0. By the way, if you've ever been to a basketball game where a guy came down and hit a three-pointer and they didn't put it on the scoreboard, is that cool? Is that what you should do? No. So every time you get scores, right, every time you eat something, you want to display it. And if you don't, you have a logical error in your program. Who understands that? All right, so that's pretty simple. So let's go down here. Let's go ahead and set this up for the fruit. I just added a comment to that. By the way, let's talk about this for a second. I accidentally put a comment in here. Do you guys see this little question mark? Okay. You guys can click on this stuff. These are like little Post-it notes. You guys see what I can do? And you can say, I want to, and you just, say logic, what you want to, just talk to yourself like a Post-it note. This is what I need to do today. I want to increase my score by, okay, are you guys with me on this? By 100 points if I collide with a Powerball. All right. So these are Post-it notes. You guys understand what they have nothing to do with code. But all it is mental notes for you that can help you get the program and accomplish what you want to do. Help you get it done. Okay. So let's go down here. What should happen to the score if I collide with, and now I don't want that anymore. So now you can right click on it, say remove comment. And we said we're going to add 1,000 points. And down here I can say like yippee, yippee. Okay, if I hit fruit. And then I want to display my score again. And there you go. Okay, was that hard? Is this too mind-blowing for anyone? All right, so let's go run into a ghost. It's very similar. So you come down here and you're going to run into Blinky. And here you're going to run into Clyde. And here you're going to run into Inky. And here you're going to run into Pinky. All right. And what should happen? Do I get scores here if I run into a ghost? Sorry. No, what happens if I hit a ghost? You'd lose a life. So this is not going to be your score anymore. This is going to be animate time. Now, if you look in here, guess what? We don't have a variable for live. So let's go back up here. We have a score variable. Guess not what we need now. We need a lives variable. And I'm going to start my lives out as like 9 lives. Okay. And we can go to the initialize screen. Here's start. Okay, yeah. So what should you do? So did we ever turn the timer on when we start the game? So I don't think we did. So how is this thing animating then? Where do we start that at? So I want to be very specific what happens when we start the game. So when we start the game, we're going to go to clock animate dot enabled, okay, is equal to true. So once again, you guys can type and you can get things to pop out. True. There you go. Um, we want to, okay, we want to go ahead and, oh yeah, by the way, I figured out how to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can do that on upgrade, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, go up and down. All right. So here we go, number of lives. So now over here, we need to go to, this is your global lives, and we're going to do some math with it. So you come over here to your math box, and I don't want to add to my lives. What do I want to do to my lives? Subtract. So you come over here and you get a subtraction sign, and we're going to take out, that's not going to be score. What should go in there? Lives is equal to lives minus, not 1,000, but I'm just going to go lives minus 1, okay? And then I can have text-to-speech come on, and she can say something like, ouch. Blinky. Okay. And then you want to display your lives. So come up here and grab this label. It's not going to be score. This time we're going to go to label lives. And we're going to join not score. We're going to say lives colon space. And in here we're going to display the lives. All right. Was that hard to do? No. And now we're going to copy and paste that 3 more times. Okay. And by the way, I want to go ahead and copy this block here. I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going to copy the score block over here where I'm displaying it. And what should you do when you start the game? Should you display the score when you start the game? Yes, you need to. Okay, so you just come over here and call display score. And then down here, we're just going to copy this 3 more times. And basically, I'm done. Here's what I like to do sometime. I'm going to cheat here and show you this real quick. Okay, I like to do this and this and throw them in a procedure block. Watch this. Watch this. Everybody watch. Everybody see how I just threw these over here into this block? Now watch this. Do you see how I had to like duplicate them one at a time? Now watch this. Watch this. 1, 2, and 3. You see how I can like duplicate all of them at one time now? Okay, and now what I'm going to do. Okay, so now I can just take this guy over here. Okay, and let's do one at a time so we don't get confused. Okay, I just ran into Clyde, so I'm going to actually throw the guy's name in there. So I'm going to say, ouch, Clyde, just to let us know that who do we run into, right? Do I have to do that? No, I could say ouch every time, but I'm going to say, ouch, Clyde, so I know that I ran into Clyde, because I want to make sure in my game that when I run into Clyde, that I know that I ran into Clyde. Are you with me? I don't want it to be like a different ghost to make sure it's confused. So let's take this guy and put it here. All right, you see how easy this is? Just copy and paste. It looks like I did too many. Does that matter? No, just delete it. I'm going to delete it anyway. Okay, I can throw these away. Okay, so who learned those little tips there? That's a good tip on coding. You know, let your copy and paste. Be efficient. Okay. Be efficient with what you're doing. So this is Pinky. And this guy I ran into who? This is Inky. So I'm going to say, ouch, Inky. And basically I'm done. All right, so we now can go and check off collision detection and points and lives. So can someone run to the board? And Josh, who's closest? Alyssa, there you go. Josh is closest. Go ahead. Go put a little line through on our board. Go through, put a line through collision detection. Check it off. Go check off points, lives, and display. Check that off. That's kind of like 3 there right away. What's next, Josh? play pause button. Okay. Thank you, John Graff, for making an appearance on our video. I appreciate that. Play pause button. Okay, so we want to get play and pause to work, right? Okay. Yeah, you might want to see that it works. I've done this like 100 times, so I know that it does. But yeah, Josh is right. You need to play the game and see if it works. Okay? And see if you got everything right in here. Okay? I'm going to throw this guy away. You don't need a little dangling blocks anywhere. So, all right. So what else do we need to do? While we're doing score, do you guys want to do high score also? Okay, so who wants to do high score and always be able to see high score? Chase, you want to do high score? Would that be cool? Okay, so let me show you this real quick. While we are here in the event of thinking about points and lives, are you with me? Okay, so let's go back to your designer. I want everybody to go back to your designer view with me really quick. And I'm going to put in something that you may not know anything about. All right, I want you to go down to storage. Okay, and now this is cool. Do you guys see where it says TinyDB? And do you see where it says Tiny Web Database? Okay, so if you put a TinyDB in here, it will always remember your scores. Hello? Are you getting this? All right, so now let me ask you this. If we would want to display scores on a website, guess what we could do? You could put in a Tiny Web Database. Are you with me? And people could get to see the Tiny Web Database. All right, this is stuff that I'm going to put in my shooting app. I'm creating a shooting app where people go out and shoot basketballs, and you're going to store all of how many shots they made, like all these professional drills. Okay, don't steal my app. You guys can't because you don't know all my drills. So I'm going to take a Tiny Web Database over here, and I'm going to put it in. I just did a TinyDB. I'm not going to display this on the web. All right, and we could rename that. So you can call it Tiny Web Database High Score, and this will store our high scores. Okay. And now right here, when you initialize the game, okay, we need to go back and set up our web database. All right. So you're going to go to TinyDB, and here you go. So, all right. So yeah, we may not be ready for this yet. Okay, let me ask you this: when do you have high score? When do you know there is a high score? When the game's over. So should we end the game first? Yes, I don't think we're ready for this. So let's go here. Okay, let's go end the game. So I think that brings us to our next part of the game: play and pause. All right. So what is this? Play, pause. All right. So this is play and pause here, right? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to the internet and I'm going to get a play pause button. There you go. And I'm going to go to images. By the way, could we make this? Oh, we need to make this, don't we? Yeah, why don't we just make this? Did we make this already? Let's go over here. Did we make this already? No, we didn't. We didn't make this already. Oh, there's one right there. Yeah, my other class did. So let me go back. Let's go look at my board. I'm gonna go ahead and make this in GIMP. I think it's always good to make it here. Okay, here it is right here. So where'd we get this from? Do you guys want to have text in? I can change the text to play and pause, or do you want to change Do you want to just click it? Do you guys want to have text in there? Play and pause text? All right, so let's do this. All right, so yeah, I can get this done. That's good. All right, so now let's come down here. Josh, what's up? You had a question. Let's click on the play pause button. BTN play. You're doing picture change? All right, so you want to do, who wants to do picture changes? All right, so let me go back into okay, that's app creators. You guys are in innovators and makers. There we are. All right, so this is period 1, pack attack. There we go. Oh yeah, this is stuff we've made. So do I have play pause in here? No, I don't. So I need to make this button. So I'm going to make it out of pack 1. That looks like a button cover right there. Are you guys with me on this? So you're going to open this guy up with GIMP. Okay, so open that up in GIMP. And we'll go through, creating a play pause button again. Okay. And by the way, you guys are off school on Friday. So this project is, and Monday, so this project is due on Thursday. Okay, who's with me on that? So we're going to blow this guy up. I want to go to View, Show Grid. And there you go. There's my grid. And I'm going to take my grid and configure it and make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to go 5 by 5. There we go. And now I can go do my play pause button. So let me go back and look at the other colors that I have. Okay, these were like black. Yeah, I want it to look like this. Are you guys with me here? So I want it to match that. So, because I want to keep my theme the same. So go back into GIMP. I'm going to go get my free select tool. And I'm going to come over here. And there you go. You select that. And I can go ahead and pour black in there. So I'm going to go get my paint can. And this is going to be similar colors. I want whole selection. Fill it in.
All 6th and 7th grade ESL students attend 100 or 132 with the pencil, please.
All right. And here's another way you can do this. You can go over here and drag a box if you want. Make that same rectangle right there. Get your paint can, pour it in there. All right. Look like those should be like 1 over. That one looks like a little off. Yeah, this one should be over 1. So Control Z this, right? And go back and get a selection tool. And I want to put this right here over block 1. Boom. Paint can, fill it. And I could Control C this, Control V this, right? Select this, move it over here. Is that where it needs to go? That looks good. All right. So File, Export as, Pause button, PNG. All right. Now I'm going to hit Control Z, and I'm going to go and click here. What? No, I don't need to. I don't need numbers in them. I'll show you how. You don't need numbers. So I'm going to go make a little triangle here. Boom. I'm going to fill that in with a paint can. Boom. There you go. And I could actually, yeah. This looks like a play and a pause button. Are you with me? What does play have in it? Just a big triangle? Okay, so let's back this up. All right, so now I want to go here to grab my free select tool. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to come over to here, down to here, and up. There we go. Now I can fill that black. Not centered. So let's go to Z here. Let's go over here. Center. Let's go one more block out. Okay, let's fill that in. Black. That looks good. And file, export as play button. All right, export it. Boom, done. And let's go back to MIT. Let's get rid of the word play because I'm going to have visuals now. And let's go in here, and I don't need that image of Pac-Man anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and upload and choose a file. And I'm going to go into my folder. And let's go find Innovators and Makers, period 1, Pack Attack, and let's go find our play pause button. There's play. That looks very nice. I like it. And let's go ahead and put in a pause. You got to enter in both of these. You got to upload both of these. This is like having an assets folder or a resource folder. Okay. And there you go. And now we're just going to toggle these back and forth. So you go down into blocks. Okay, and you're going to click on play. And I'm going to go ahead and rename this guy. This guy is not going to be called play. It's going to be called BTN play pause. Okay, so now it's both of them. And now what you're going to do is create a variable in here. So let's go put a variable right on top of this. And you're going to call this variable counter. And you're going to set the counter equal to 1. Who's getting this? By the way, are we all getting this? Or am I going too fast? A little too fast. All right. Try to slow down a little bit. Okay. So what happens to the variable when you click play and pause? You're going to count. You're going to count with it. Counter is equal to, set the counter, do some math to it. Go get a variable. And this is counter plus 1. Okay. And now I have to figure out if I'm odd or even. Because if it's odd, we're going to have play. And if it's even, we're going to do pause. Are you guys with me? So every time you click, right, it's going to go odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. Okay. So this brings us into a modulus function. So you're going to go ahead and do the math. And I'm going to do an if statement. So go get a control if, which we use all the time. And I'm going to go get an else if in here, which we use all the time. And you're going to go get an equal sign. Okay. And you're going to say something like this. If, go find a modulus function. And I'll explain modulus. Modulo of. So how many people have ever done long division before? Right? So let me get a little canvas out here so we can talk about this. All right, here's Pac-Man. This is good. This is good review. You guys can pause the tape and look at this if you ever need to. All right, let's go down here and let's start talking about a modulus. So mod. Okay. Do you guys ever remember doing this and you had like 7 goes into 40? Right? How many times does 7 go into 40? 7 goes in there 5 times. That's 35, right? Remainder of what? So this is R5. Okay, so this is your modulus. It always gives you the remainder. Okay? So what's going to happen? We're going to click and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are you with me? Who understands that? So what we're going to do is we're going to mod this. We're going to mod it by the number of 2. And we're going to always look at the remainder. So what's 1 divided by 2? How many times does 2 go into 1? No times, right? Doesn't go in there evenly, but there's a remainder of 1. How many times does 2 go into 2? Goes in there 1 time, so this is 0. Goes in there 1 time, remainder of 0. How many times does 2 go into 3? Goes in there 1 time with a remainder of 1. How many times does 2 go into 4? 2 times, a remainder of 0. So what's happening to my remainder here? 1, 0, 1, 0. Is it going to do that forever? Odd, even? Yes. So, you go into 5, divide by 5, you get 3. You don't really care about that number, but it's a remainder of 1. You divide 6 by 2, you get 3 times, right? But it's a remainder of 0. Are you with me? So we're going to do odd, even, and this is a modulus. This is what mod does. Okay, so that's a little lesson on mod. So now I can take my counter. Okay, I'm going to go get the modulus of my counter, divided by 2. So just go grab your number, divide it by 2. Okay, and you're going to say, all right, if remember, it's either going to equal 1 or 0. Okay, so let's start it out with 0 here. I could have started with 1. And then I'm going to copy and paste this. Okay, and by the way, I can add a comment here. Okay, and this is even, right? And this guy is for all odd numbers. Oh, wow, I duplicated the whole thing. Okay, no problem. I'll just move this guy up here, and I'll delete this guy. All right. Okay, so this guy is a 1. So those are your odd numbers, right? So now you just, in your brain, you write down the modulus is going to, the counter is going to start at 0. Okay. All right. So, oh, wow. All right. We got to finish this tomorrow. Okay. So we'll finish this video tomorrow, or you guys want me to finish it real quick? Let me finish this video real quick. I'll finish these code blocks up, and you guys will get the play pause buttons done. All right? Yeah, I'll post this. All right. So I'll finish this next period. All right. So I'm back, and we're in period 2 right now, but I'm going to go ahead and finish up this video. So what happens when you click on play and pause? So this is going to rotate back and forth between odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, and so what we're going to do here is we just go down to our play pause button. All right. And it has an image in there. Actually, I'm doing this in my app I'm building right now for a friend. And you could have changed the text. You can change the image. Okay, so you just set the image. And you got to think about logically what's happening here. And you got to play with this a little bit. But now you're going to go get a text box. And you just write out what image do you want. So when the game is at 0, that's an even number, the game should start out with play.png, okay? And then when you click it, you're going to go to odd, okay? And when you're odd, the game should stop, and it should be pause.png, okay? And now you have to get the clock to run accordingly. Okay, so you go down to your clock game time, and you're going to set the timer to, work the way that you want accordingly to what you want, okay? So let's think about this for a second. So when I'm displaying the words play, are you guys with me? What should the clock be doing if I'm displaying the word play? No. What? No, it shouldn't. Think about that again. If the button is displaying play, that means you're paused. And then when you press play, it starts, and then it switches back to pause. Are you with me? So if you're viewing the pause button, that means you're playing. If you're viewing the play button, that means you are paused. You guys need to write that down on your piece of paper so that you understand that. Who understands that now? Is my thinking correct? Do you think my thinking's correct? Hello? Who thinks my thinking's correct now? Or who thinks when you're displaying the word play that the button should be playing? Is that true? No, I don't think so. All right, so If I'm seeing the button play, you must be in pause. Okay? All right, so this clock is going to be it's going to be false. All right, and this guy right here, I can just take this guy over here, and this is going to be true. Okay. Now let's go ahead and run the clock. Then what should happen when you run the clock? Okay, so here's your clock. Did we create a counter for game time? Did we ever create a variable for game time? There's animate time. There's animate time. Is animate time the same thing as game time? No, it's not. So now we need to come down here and we need to start working on our game time. All right, so now you can come into here, create a variable. All right, and you guys, you're going to come in here, and this guy's called game time. And game time, I think, is initialized to what? 60? All right, so we're going to let them play the game for 60 seconds. And now, what should happen when you run the game time? What should happen to the clock if you start at 60? It should go down. Very good. So you go down here and you set game time. You go do math on it. So you're going to go game time -1, right? And just go get your game time. By the way, did you guys know this? You can put your mouse in here and get the variables, get and set them right here. Okay, it took me a while to figure that one out. I think I accidentally did it one day. And now I can take this number right here, duplicate it, change it to a 1. Okay, and then you can display that. And go ahead and put it in your LBL time.txt. And go get your join like we always do. Okay, you guys are going to get used to doing joins. I do joins all the time with text. Go get a text box. All right, so this is going to say time, :space. Make sure you always put the space in there. And go ahead and display your game time. And there you go. So now you're going back to 0. And now the game can actually end. How do I end the game? If what happens? What? You die. Okay, so if you die, right? So there's two things that can happen here, right? So, now we can get into an if statement here. And I can say if this game time ever equals 0, right? Get this game time. And I can do a condition on it and say if you ever equal 0, what should happen? What? Yeah, the game should end. So, and now you can just go through and start thinking about, okay, so by the way, so you want to, if the game ends, this clock should shut off. Are you with me? Don't run it past 0. You guys with me on that? So stop the clock at 0. And now you basically can take all your sprites in here. I'll just show you this real quick. And you can start disabling all your sprites. So see how these sprites are enabled? Okay. And you can just turn them all off. Okay. So I'm just going to go get a bunch of these. Duplicate all this. You guys see how coding is just a lot of copy and pasting? I mean, it's really all it is. Once you figure out one thing you want to do, then, so this is Blinky, Clyde, the dot gets turned off, the fruit gets turned off, the Inky gets turned off, the Pac-Man gets turned off, okay? The Pinky gets turned off, and the Powerball gets turned off. Now, do you guys remember we did start and reset game? So if you turn them off, what do you have to do? You got to be able to turn them back on. Are you guys with me on this? So I'm going to take this. I'm going to duplicate this whole block, which that's why I love if statements, because now I can duplicate them. And let's go back up here and find out where we did start reset game. Okay. So I'm just going to drag this guy up here, And there we go. There's start reset game. So I can drag this guy over here if I want. Okay, I'll put this down here. All right, so we can start thinking about this together. All right, so let's go into here. This is my start reset game. So what should happen to all this stuff when you start and reset the game? You got to reset them, right? So should the clock start? Yeah. Should Blinky be enabled? Yeah. Should Clyde be enabled? Yes. Should the dot be enabled? Yes. Should the fruit be enabled? Yes. And all these go to true. Is that hard? No. Do you guys see how easy this is? You just kind of like get in a groove, get in thinking, right? And then you just go and make it do what you want it to do. All right, throw this guy away. And there you go. I think I'm not finished, but you know, we should have a nice working program here. All right. Okay, so tomorrow I'll show you how to do this is enough for today. Tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do high score and how to start registering that in a database so you always are collecting high scores. So this is enough for today. Hopefully I videoed this. Yeah, 41 minutes is the class time. Perfect. Done. We're out of here. Enjoy. Keep calm, man. Code on.